Here we're going to show how to recenter the center wheel on the blanket cylinder. What happens is this dimension on either side of the wheel wants to be the same. This distance and this distance, which means you should have the same amount of thread sticking out here as you do here. Sometimes the springs get weak. If you run a blanket that's too long, the springs will get weak. They get compressed and get weak, and then it might start pushing about this point, and then you can see that little half moon down there. Let me give you a different angle here. This half moon right here will spin and cause it to this. There's a good example right there. You can see I have less distance here than here. And when you go to mount a blanket on, sometimes you can't get your blanket on because this has got shorter distance. So basically what you do is you open this up to where you can spin this nut, and I'm going to spin it maybe 3 or 4 times depending on how far off it is from the other side. And then I just want to have it so it's the same here. Now, other times the threads will get messed up on these because people over tighten them. When you install it in the press, when you push it away from you, it should tighten. You see how they're coming in? One side's a right-handed thread, one side's a left-handed thread. It's like a come-along. So here's the action you're looking for. Now, if these get messed up, if the nuts get stripped out or whatever, we're going to pull this whole assembly out. I'm going to show you how to do that now. What you've got is you've got 4 5mm bolts that hold the entire assembly in. You got one there, one up in here, 3, 4. And I've already loosened them a little bit, so I'm just going to finish taking them out here. One thing you want to make sure when you put it back in is that when you push the wheel away from you, it actually tightens the blanket. You can see them coming in closer. It tightens. And towards you loosens. So I got a lot of lock in that one. Somebody got carried away with the Loctite. It's like now I'm just going to leave the screws right down in there. This is on the second unit. On the first unit, you may want to pull them out so they don't fall out. This press has the quick change blanket bars on it, which is this piece and these 4 pieces. If your blanket is a punch blanket, you're going to have 2 metal bars that screw together on the end of the blanket, and that screws in these holes. But over time, these holes get stripped out. So it's best if you don't have it to get yourself a quick change. This also allows you to change the blanket in about 2 minutes versus up to 30 minutes I've seen some people take to change blankets before. It's really a pain to change the blanket with a punch blanket on this press. Okay, I'm down to my last bolt. Okay, so this whole thing should just pull straight out of there now. Like that, whole assembly. Now I'm going to show you how to replace the pieces on the inside. Bring it down here. this is how you can purchase it from us. Put it all in a bag. You put the nuts, the washers, everything together. You buy it as a whole assembly. You replace the whole entire thing. So once you get it out on the floor, just going to loosen this up. The nuts will fall off like so. And I'm going to pinch it. There we go. Okay, just like that. Parts just fall right out of it, just like so. Again, when you put it back together, you want to make sure that when you're pushing the wheel away from you, that it tightens the blanket. One other thing you want to make sure is because if you pull the bolts all the way out of here, these will flip around the other way, which not only are these backwards, but if you completely take it apart, what you have to make sure is this gouge on these end pieces goes down, because that's where the blanket cylinder shaft goes through there, or else it will hit and it'll make a noise. So there you go. How to replace the blanket centering wheel. 3302 Ryobi.